Hey everyone, I'm Tim Echols. I'm on the Public Service Commission. We regulate energy for the state of Georgia, and we plan Georgia's energy future. So we actually define what clean energy means in this state. So there are 5 of us. We're elected for 6-year terms every 6 years, of course, and it's a fun job. And one of the funnest things I've had a chance to do is to help the military be able to get solar on their bases here in Georgia. This is Fort Benning on that Alabama. That's actually in the state of Alabama, just over the river, but still on Benning property. So we've done projects where the military didn't have to spend the money, and that's been the big game changer. That's why there's more solar on military bases in Georgia than it is in California, right? Because, well, we did it at no cost. And so Georgia Power self-built that, military provided the land, and it's been great. So Benning and Stewart, Gordon got the first batch. The logistics base in Albany for the Marine Corps got a smaller amount. The Air Force Base in Warner Robins getting a bigger amount. The sub base down in St. Mary's got 30 megawatts. And so far, Dobbins hasn't gotten any, but they are much more constrained. One of the reasons I'm all hot and sweaty is I was trying to get my electric car plugged in out here and having trouble with the ChargePoint charger. And so I was running back and forth, talking to ChargePoint, finally got the thing, they finally got it connected via their side. So we got some issues here in the garage. But I'm a big EV fan. I'm on my 5th EV. I've had a propane van, a CNG methane car, and flex fuel, where I actually put the flex fuel in it. Of course, that's always a challenge. How do you get people that are driving these cars to use the fuel in case of flex fuels? My wife, Wendy, that's not our house, that's the dealership. We've had, that was our first electric, the Nissan Leaf, a Kia Soul. This is a Range Rover. It's not mine, but it belongs to the Consul General there on the left. At the EV Performance Corral that we did at Road Atlanta at the Petite Le Mans last year. We'll be doing that again this year if you happen to come out for the race. That's a Thomas-built EV bus that I had parked there by the Capitol so legislators could see it. This is a DC fast charger that FSEC and Norcross made. We've got a lot of these. See, Tesla parade that I organized with Sean Mathis, that's 400, and if you notice, there's no other cars there other than those Teslas in a very long line, 380 of them going down 400. We had it shut down to do a world record attempt for the longest Tesla parade, which we broke that record. We're getting ready to plan our integrated resource planning, do our planning, which we do every 3 years. It's kind of how we do energy planning. It's when we're going to determine, okay, how much more solar are we going to do? How much, are we going to close any coal plants? Are we going to, build any more nuclear plants? So every 3 years we take a 20-year look. Obviously reliability is important. We don't want to be a Texas here in Georgia, so we have quite the different system. I'll let you read my op-eds about why Georgia's better. That is our nuclear plant. Running way behind, way over budget. That's Rick Perry, former Secretary of Energy. There's our commissioners. At the day that we actually put the top on Unit 3, Unit 3 is in hot functional testing right now and should be online in January. So Plant Vogtle is very important to Georgia Power. It's going to be 25% of their rate base. It is also important to the President of the United States. President Biden has said that nuclear plus renewables are a key to making the clean energy numbers that he wants to make. President Obama said the same thing, that existing nuclear and new nuclear is very important. I wish we had the Navy in charge of all this. The Navy's certainly, been the go-to for nuclear. I wish we let the Navy do all the testing, and then we commercialized it afterwards. It's just too expensive for a single state like Georgia to do it. So I've tried all kinds of energy. It's the solar thermal on top of my house in Winterville. I've just been very aggressive with trying this stuff out, seeing if it works, and promoting it. because all this theoretical stuff, all this rhetoric is worthless in my opinion if you can't make it work and it can't be cost effective. This solar thermal certainly is not cost effective, and that was $6,300 I spent, and certainly it's a very, very long payback because of cheap natural gas. Been to a number of countries to try to learn what they're doing, obviously taking advantage of moments that are happening. We added net metering here in Georgia in 2019 with a cap of 32 megawatts or 5,000 customers. We're over 4,000 now. We're reaching the top of that. And one of the things that we've done is we've used avoided cost as our bar, so to speak. So you have states like North Carolina, a bunch of other states, 28 of them, with this renewable portfolio standard that kind of pushes renewables regardless of the cost. We've taken a different approach where we've essentially said, look, we'll put up to X amount on our grid, but it has to be below avoided cost. And so what happens is you wind up getting energy on the grid that actually lowers everybody's rate. So you've heard of community solar and how equitable it is. I'm going to tell you what's equitable. Every drop of solar we have on the grid is putting downward pressure on rates. That is equitable because every single ratepayer for Georgia Power receives a slight reduction as a result of all this cheap solar that we've done. Obviously, if you're subsidizing it, guess what? Everybody's paying for it. Everybody's paying for it if it's subsidized. So we've done things a little bit different here in Georgia. As you know, Georgia has a kind of a track record for doing that, whether it's the way we handle the pandemic or mask or energy or losing Super Bowls or whatever. We do things a little bit different. Batteries are obviously coming down in price. I expect us to do more batteries. They're definitely not prime time yet. And I'm glad California's at the tip of the spear on this and not us. Fort Gordon, it hasn't been announced yet, but Fort Gordon's probably going to be the beneficiary for some serious battery stuff. We have an interest in helping them at Cyber Command be more resilient, and there's a chance we're going to put a chunk of batteries over there and help them. So what's that going to cost them? Nothing, because we're having ratepayers cover it, and we're going to let the military be the beneficiary of it. Why are we so nice to the military in Georgia? Oh, we like you. We want you to stay here. And when that BRAC commission comes around, we want them to go, whoa, we can't be closing that Georgia stuff. Look at all they give us over here. Look at all they give us. So we want to take care of the military. So with that, my goal was to get you back on time. I told Paul I'd finish at 2:30. It's 2:28. So what question? I'll do a lightning round. You got to be quick. You can't have me no long question. Okay.
I got a property.
Okay.
Commissioner, I got a property. It's split between Georgia Power and Copeland EMC, and we're trying to do vehicle to grid. Is that a possibility?
Well, the Ford F-150 Lightning will allow vehicle to grid, right? The other vehicles, it voided the warranty. So the F-150 is your greatest hope, and you should buy one as quick as you possibly can.
I already looked at
the Lightning, and so vehicle to grid is something I think Southern Company is going to be very interested in doing. The EMCs too. The EMCs just kind of follow Georgia Power. So anyway, that's good first question. One more question. Anybody? Yes?
Is how many nuclear facilities? I thought the problem with nuclear now is that no one's building them because of the achievements. Is that like one of the only plants in the world being built? Because you don't get economies.
No, not only in the world. China's building 26 along their eastern coast. China's already built a bunch of these that are operating. So Asia is where the nuclear renaissance is happening, not in Georgia or America. So yeah, it's behind. And when you're familiar with a grocery store loss leader concept, right? That's what the AP1000s were initially, when they had everybody that wanted to do it. And then after Fukushima, then folks decided, no, I don't think we want to do that after all. Low gas prices came along, right? And that kind of just stuck it and turned it right in the side of nuclear, and then the Westinghouse bankruptcy was the trifecta. And as a result of that, who in the world wants to do nuclear? Who in the world wants to follow? It's going to take President Biden doing something sweet to get folks to do advanced technology. Well, it is 2:30. I have given you back 15 minutes. How about that? Yeah.
Plus, you actually have 5 minutes according to the schedule that have free. So if you have questions, whip away. But I'm just kidding.
Yeah, hey, I gave it all back. I told you I would. Now I've got to go do a ribbon cutting out at a company that is that's using some special chemical in their HVAC unit. It's like Lipitor. It's like Lipitor for an older system. Makes it run smoother and better. And we're going to go give them a little award for their energy efficiency out there in Lithia Springs. So off I go. And then I got to go to Chattanooga.
So the funny thing is, you think he's talking fast. This is the way he is all the time.
Really?
He does not slow down. If you follow him on LinkedIn or any social media, he's always in Savannah, North Georgia. He's all around. So.
Yeah, thank you, Paul. Appreciate it. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks so much, Commissioner. And I've approved you. Only thing.